What's good, everybody? Welcome into Early Edge Live. I, of course, am the coach. We are powered by the almighty SportsLine. My apologies. We started 3 minutes late, but hey, we had to go over some afternoon and evening picks, so I'm sure that you will forgive us this one time. Now, if it appears like I'm in a really, really good mood today, you would be correct, because I've got golf on to my right, I've got baseball on in front of me, and I've got you there at home. And if the A's can get through one more inning, we're going to start the day 3-0, which is just the way that we like it. Now, some housekeeping before I bring in the stars of the show. We're going to get to 100 likes today. We'll give away a year-long subscription. 200 likes. We're going to give away 2 year-long subscriptions to SportsLine. And then we're going to do a little side one like we did yesterday. You leave your Twitter handle and just the word over and under. Do you think it's going to be over or under tonight, the total in the Suns-Clippers game? And we'll give away a third one. So you have all kinds of opportunities if you stay with us for the entire hour. Now, let's bring in the stars of the show. He's about to go 2-0, which you guys all know what that means. If he goes 2-0 on the show, then we get a year-long subscription tomorrow morning. M Squared, how good do you feel?
I will feel better once we get the first out of the bottom of the ninth. After we get the first out, I'll feel a lot better than, it's a high leverage spot here. It could be 2 on, no outs, or 1 on with 1 out. And one of those is significantly better than the other. So I'll feel good in about 30 seconds. After you introduce the rest of the team, I'll feel pretty good.
Okay. Well, we do have a 4-run lead. We're at 5-1 right now. We won the first 5 in that game as well, and the Yankees' first 5. And we're going to discuss all that in a couple of minutes. Now, I've been working on a nickname here for our next guest. This is the second time he's come on, but he's the first time with me. He's going to be on a lot. And this man does hockey. He does baseball. He does basketball. And so we always like to say here on the show that we package it up. So I think that from now on, this man should be known as the Severance package.
I've heard that many times.
Oh, goodness. So it's not your first time.
I say at job interviews, can't spell perseverance without severance. So
okay. We got a lot of things we can work on. If it doesn't stick, then we can go with something else. But Matty Severance, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, too. Very short, sweet, and to the point. I like it. Maybe you can talk to Jay Smooth a little bit. Just kidding. Just kidding.
We gotta tell Jay Smooth that our morning show is supposed to be 10 minutes, not 15. No offense, Justin, but yeah, Matt is a man of few words and many wins. He's got a 48-17 baseball run entering tonight.
Well, and did you say, Matty, that you have your 3,000th play getting ready to come up here?
I'll be over plus 3,000 once the 2 afternoon ones hit, correct? So
over plus 3,000. We say all the time, hashtag, it pays to watch. And that man just said it right there. All right, we got a lot to get to, guys, so let's jump right in. And before we get to the NBA game tonight, because we have so much to talk about when it comes to that game, we're on a couple of props. We're on the side tonight in that game, so we'll get into the NBA. But let's recap quickly the games we've already won today. Jay Smooth, Justin, was on the Yankees -0.5 run, first 5 today, and there was never a sweat. They win 8-1. They were up 4-1 after 5. Mikey, just the way Justin said it would happen today is the way that it happened, and we also hit a prop under 16.5 outs for Brad Keller of the Royals, so we swept the whole game. Kind of explain to the people at home exactly how we got it done.
Yeah, no, I love to see that when Max dropped that correlated play there. It really fell in line with what Justin was thinking. If you add up the number of outs there, he was basically betting on him to not really last much past the 5th inning or really any into that there. So him getting knocked out definitely correlated to the Yankees performing well. They hit well. They started off talking about Judge and Stanton. Judge hit that first inning home run to get it started, and Jamison Tyone was good at home once again.
And then also the A's came through in the first 5, just like you said they would. Now they have a 5-1 lead with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. And again, this game is playing out exactly as you said that it would.
Yeah, they got to Colby Allard early, which he's been very good so far this season. I mentioned some of the pitches he'd be throwing. It's really about the velocity too. Sitting 92 is as hard as he can throw. It's just a very comfortable number for this A's lineup. So they got it done so far. They left 8 on base still with their 5 runs already. So definitely could have been a lot uglier, but I think a win will be a win here. We'll see in about another minute or so.
There is nobody that is more pessimistic before the end of a game than my guy. That is for damn sure. Maestro, let's jump into our plays for tonight. You've got 2 different props, and I believe you added a side. Is that correct? Are you in the Twins tonight as well?
Yeah, I got on the Twins last night at -160, posted it on SportsLine. It's 180 now. I'm not going that high. I just love the way Berrios is pitching right now. Although Zach is against me, he took the value. He says value with the Indians at +165 because Berrios does not have a great history against the Indians. But in terms of current form, he's in great form. And Mejia for the Indians, not in good form at all. And I just like the way the Twins are playing. They would have had a 6-game win streak. They blew that game against the Reds. So I'm going to take the Twins. I did take them -160. I'm not going any higher than that. And then Berrios over 5.5 Ks. And then Kramer for the Orioles under 4.5 Ks. This is the Blue Jays' second chance to see him. They just saw him 6 days ago. He did fan 6 guys, but I love their lineup. They're at home, and it sets up well. I think they're going to hit him hard tonight.
And the Twins are always good for an over. If you just blindly bet the Twins over every single game, you're probably going to come out plus by the end of the season. They score a lot of runs, and they give up a lot of runs as well. By the way, Maestro, Zach is not the only one on the Indians today. The SDQL Gurus.
I saw that.
I saw that. And they're on the over 9 in that game as well. And apparently, the Cleveland pick, they wrote that Cleveland is 4-0 on a Thursday after a Wednesday in June on odd years before 2030. So we're going to go with Cleveland Indians today, +162.
The peanut butter sandwich.
Coach.
Meal. Yeah.
What'd you say, Matty?
With the peanut butter sandwich as the pregame meal. Yeah, all those kind of things thrown in there.
Coach, we're gonna get the SDQL Gurus because we like to make fun. And it's a physics professor out of Ohio who's the head of it, a guy named Ed. And his database is literally unmatched, millions of queries running overnight. And I want to get him on to go head-to-head and defend himself. All I look at is the record. And last year they were number 1 in baseball for SportsLine. Started off slow this year, but getting hot, still behind Maddie. But and I will say one other thing about the SDQL Gurus, just to defend his methods. He shared the Circa Survivor contest last year. He won Circa Survivor, one of like 60 people that were perfect the whole season in Survivor. So he's got credentials, but I agree with you. The write-ups can be, numbing.
Hey, Maestro, I wrestled against The Rock. I wrestled against John Cena. Cena put me through a table. I can go head-to-head with a professor. Okay, I can go head-to-head with a professor. I'm good with that.
Let's get it on. Let's bring it on.
We tease a lot. Real quick, let's get to 100 likes today. Because if we get to 100 likes, we're going to give away our first year-long subscription. So get those likes in. And then as the hour goes, I will tell you how we're going to give away other year-long subs as well. But let's get the first 100 likes. Hit that like button, and let's go. All right, quickly before we get to Maddie's play and dive into the NBA, I want to give out other plays that people can get into right now. Mad Max in the Thunderdome, our new, young, really sharp handicapper. He gave out several plays today, and let's go ahead and bring those up quickly. DeAndre Ayton over 15.5 points. A lot of places that's gone to 16. So my books have it at 16.5 right now. He also has Suns in 4 +250. I love that graphic. And then Zach Davies tonight over 3.5 strikeouts for the Cubs, +120 as well. Before we dive into the NBA, anybody's thoughts on these 3 plays that he gave out today?
I like the Suns in 4, that value. I think that they get it done tonight. We'll see. What I've been saying since game 1 in the series is I thought that Kawhi wasn't returning until game 4 on Saturday. We'll see if they win this game, if they even bother returning him at all. But I definitely like the value at +250.
I love the Ayton play because, first game they went small and he destroyed him. Yesterday, last game they had Zubats in and he destroyed Zubats. So, and just the shooting touch. I mean, the guy is hitting those foul line jumpers. So yeah, I really like that one.
I played him earlier today because I knew it would go up. I mean, he's been so good, and you're right, Maestro. He's hitting the foul line jumpers, and you can see the energy, the confidence, the swagger just increase by the minute when he's out there on the floor. But the Clippers are going back home now, and it's been -1, +1. And Maddie, you are on the Suns today, -1. Explain yourself.
I just think it's more psychological than anything. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, how many times can a team go down 0-2 and just come back? And, no offense, the Los Angeles crowd isn't that much of a, like Utah or some of these crazy. I don't even think they're full capacity yet. I don't believe. So I just think they ripped their hearts out in game 2. And, it's easy to say, well, Chris Paul's back, but now Suns bench is that much better with Payne going down. I worry about it. Booker, if he's wearing a mask and that, screws up his shooting. But I'm not really a side guy, but I did find one stat. Just you might want to bet the Clippers on the first half line because teams coming home down 0-2 are 80-36-1 against this first half spread since 2005. So that may be something you want to go.
80-36-1
against a spread coming down against a first half spread coming down 0-2 in a series.
And we just got something from William Hill that people know that trend and they are on it to the point that the Suns are -1 for the game. And at William Hill, according to what we got half an hour ago, Clippers are -1.5 for the first half.
Wow.
You never see that in a regular game. If a team is, -6, Matt, if a team is -6 for the game, what are they going to be for the half? -3.5 usually for the first half or something like that. Yeah. So you have a flip because of the situation, 80 and 36.
Very, very, very interesting. I'm also working on a sounder that when we're in the middle of our live show and we hit another winner, that it goes ding, 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 ding. But for now, we'll have to listen to my annoying voice do that because we just won another play because that's exactly what we do. A's, cash it, money line, all day. So we won 2 plays on that. So my guy M squared, perfect today. So you know what that means. Tomorrow morning, we're changing somebody's life. You might be the winner of a year-long subscription to SportsLine, and I can't do any more for you than that. Mikey, congratulations on the A's first 5 and the A's money line. That is freaking awesome. Now, back to the NBA. So the Suns -1, but in the first half, love that stat. It goes against everything that your body wants to do, though, Maddie, to bet the game with the Suns, but bet the first half with the Clippers. I mean, that I don't even know what my mind would do if I did that. Please convince me.
Well, they're going to come out like gangbusters, I assume. They know it's now or never. And like I think Larry said the other day, the Suns tend to maybe be a little rusty with Paul back. Payne has been playing so well, 1 turnover the past 2 games. I mean, I'm not saying he's Chris Paul, but you never know. They could be a little out of sync. I'm not really a first half line guy, but that's a stat I can't ignore. And like I say, the public's going all crazy on it. So I could see the home team that goes on the road. I'd be like, no way. But
yeah. That's almost 70%. I mean, I'm not a math major, but that's almost 70% of the time down 0-2 that they win the first half of the third game. That's crazy. But there's a lot of props that we look at too. I want Chris Paul to come back, but Cameron Payne was blowing away every prop that he had the last game, and I was looking forward to playing him tonight. But my books have nothing because Chris Paul is back in the lineup. Let's go ahead, Johnny, and bring up the props totals for the starting lineups tonight, if we could. Let's start with the visiting Suns. We already talked about DeAndre Ayton, but here are the numbers. Mikey, let's start with you. Any of those numbers you like a lot to go over or go under?
Yeah, there's one guy that I want to continue to bet that he hasn't been getting there recently, but the model obviously uses a lot larger sample sizes, and that's going to be Mikal Bridges. We still haven't seen really anything from him, and they're still crushing and winning these games. With Booker just slightly beat up just a little bit here, you've got Chris Paul facilitating. I think that this is the spot where you jump on Mikal Bridges here at 11.5. This number should be 13.5 in my opinion. So that's the one I like. Booker's banged up just a little bit. I know that he's young. He's going to want to play, and he might be just absolutely fine, but they're certainly not going to get him hurt. Not with this series when they feel like it might be in hand headed to the NBA Finals. So maybe look for a few extra minutes in Bridges' way, a little bit less usage for Devin Booker with Chris Paul returning after shouldering the load for those 2 games. I'll take Bridges over 11.5.
Yeah, we played that a couple of times here on the show, and it didn't hit because he kind of regressed a little bit, which is obviously why the point total is where it is. Maestro, anything you see there?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like Ayton, as we said, but I would lean under on Devin Booker, which is kind of painful for me to admit because my son, who is 5, actually believes that he's Devin Booker, and he changed the clock in his room to Phoenix time, and we live in the East Coast because he needs to be ready for the game, and he goes by Book. He wants to be called Book. So, but I'm going to go under on my son and Devin Booker tonight because, Pat Beverly didn't start game 1. And we saw what Booker did. Well, they put him in the starting lineup, and he got very physical. Some might say dirty, but held him to 5 out of 16 shooting. You do have Chris Paul coming back. It's still a big number. I mean, he can have a great game and go under this. He can go 26, 8, and 8 and go under this number. So I would lean under on that, and it correlates with the play from Prop Stars that I'll give out in a bit.
I don't think there's anything better than a young kid looking at an NBA superstar or any athlete and wanting to be like them. That's one of the cool stories that I've heard in a very, very long time. Book, his son's new name is Book. I like it. Maddie, any of the Suns player props you like?
Well, first of all, I would hate to owe money to someone named Book Hartstein because that just sounds like someone in the mob or something, that break my ankles for sure. So, I agree with Larry. Again, the mask thing, I play the mask in high school. It's just a different thing. I think Paul's going to take some shots. Payne has earned more playing time. So I like under Booker 28.5 points. And I like him under 4.5 assists too, because I don't think they're just going to run him off screens. I don't think he'll be passing much. He'll just be a pure shooting guard in this one. Keep him healthy, keep his nose out of, if he breaks it again, he could miss a lot of time. So I like under assists too.
We do have, we're completely interactive here at the show as well. So if you have a question, you can put it in the comment section. We'll try to get to as many as we can. There is a question in here from Dakota Walker. Hello, Dakota. Paul George redemption game, ? Really liking the over for him, 30.5 points. Anybody can take it.
Yeah, this is one I like. I mean, you look at game 2, he missed 5 free throws. He only made 1 tray. He still finished with 26 points. Obviously, after what happened, after how that game ended, he is going to have to go off tonight. And I think that Marcus Morris being healthy, not on the injury report, is going to help him a little bit. He needs some help from Reggie Jackson and from Marcus Morris, to get some freedom, to get some better looks. But I like it tonight. I think he gets over 30.5.
All right, very good. We do have somebody in the chat, and this has been at my book too, says that his book already has Ayton at over 17.5 points. That thing is just moving. I don't know that I'd played it. 7.5. He's been over 20, like whatever, how many games in a row. But when you have to get to 20 or 18, then that makes it a little bit more difficult of a bet. But okay. Also, they're asking, what about the Patrick Beverly over on points? Because we are playing the Patrick Beverly over 11.5 on points, rebounds, and assists.
Right. This was from Prop Stars that he just posted earlier, and I believe it might be up to 12.5. And he said he would probably play that at even money for a smaller play at 12.5. But he thinks the minutes are going to be there because of how well he played defensively. And just looking at some of the things Prop Stars said, in games he's played at least 25 minutes, he's gone over this number 11 out of 16 times, averaging 16.4 points, rebounds, and assists.
Wow. Very, very cool stat from Prop Stars. By the way, Prop Stars and Mad Max in the Thunderdome, they'll be joining the show coming up in July. But good thing it's from 5 to 6 because Mad Max has a bedtime that he has to get to. We're just across the 20-minute mark. We're here from 5 to 6 o'clock every weekday afternoon, at least when there's big games at night. It's the Early Edge crew, Early Edge Live. Now we're trying to get to 100 likes. We're getting very, very, very close. 100 likes, and I'll give out a year-long subscription to SportsLine. And then we're going to give you 2 other opportunities this hour to also win a year-long sub as well. As far as the side is concerned, 0-2, yes, the Clippers have done that every single step of the way. But they don't have Kawhi Leonard to bring them back. That win 4 at plus 250, I'm leaning more and more and more to that because I feel like I'm more of a you know me, you guys are the numbers guys. I'm a guts guy. And Chris Paul, when I looked at his history, think about how bad his luck has had to be to never make it to an NBA Finals, when he was up 3-2 on the Warriors, when he played with the Rockets, he tore his hamstring, couldn't play. They blew a 3-2 lead. So he has an opportunity to join. He's only him and Michael Jordan. Listen to this. Only him and Michael Jordan have scored 25 points a game, 10 assists a game, and shot 60% from the floor. Only him and MJ in a 4-game playoff scenario. I feel like the stars are aligned for Chris Paul to come back from COVID. How much of a difference, guys, do we think Chris Paul is going to make tonight to stave off the Clippers in Game 3? Matty, you want to start?
He'll definitely – go ahead, Matty. You take it.
I just think all the difference. Like you say, he's never been in the finals. I mean, not that he's lacking motivation, but he's on the doorstep. I mean, it's a clear platform. They might play the Hawks, and I'm not saying they're looking that far ahead, but, there's no Nets ahead of them. They already got rid of the Lakers. Got rid of the Jazz are out of them. I just think that this is everything. This probably his best chance. He wasn't symptomatic, so it's not like he's, recovering or, had to get back in conditioning shape. So I don't think he'll miss a beat. He was unbelievable his last game, the previous round. So I think he's, and against the Clippers, no less, the team that, he played for 6-7 years. So I think he's just going to have a crazy game.
Yeah, 2011 and 2017. And we are on over 12.5 rebounds and assists for Chris Paul tonight. Even though he's been scoring a lot, does that give us any hesitation, guys? Mikey, I'll direct this to you, that he's been scoring so much, way more than what we're used to with him, to still play that prop to get over a combined 12.5 points and rebounds. Any hesitation at all?
On Patrick Beverly or the Chris Paul? Okay, I thought you meant Beverly guarding him. No, not really any hesitation at all there. I think that Booker's going to be the true shooting guard. If he has the open shots, he's still going to take the shots. I think Bridges is going to take them, and really, I think it's going to be DeAndre Ayton scoring, which we've talked about quite a bit here. So, if you think Chris Paul, the only reason you're not playing it, I wouldn't be worried about his scoring. It's just a matter of, do they ease him into it because Cameron Payne has played so well? Do they play Chris Paul 28 minutes instead of 36? The game is going to dictate that. If you think the game's going to be ultra competitive down to the wire where the spread is, he probably is going to end up playing those minutes. But if it's one of those situations where they're a comfortable 2.5 to 3 possessions ahead the whole way, I wouldn't be stunned at all to see Chris Paul, play around that 30-minute mark in this one.
That is really my only hesitation is that how much playing time is he going to get having missed 2 games with COVID? We don't know. And not just because of COVID, but as you mentioned, because Cameron Payne has been playing so good. Guys, we have a winner. We've hit 100 likes just that fast. All right, here we go. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. At least one of you has to. At Pratt Meister, PratMeister. My guy Johnny is going to reach out to you on social media. You have just won a year-long subscription to SportsLine, so welcome to the family. Now, let's get to 200 likes. And for those of you who hit the 100 likes button first and you can't do it again, I've got something for you too. Leave your Twitter handle and write over, under. Whatever you think tonight's total is going to be, over the total or under the total in the NBA game, just write over or under next to your Twitter handle, and we're going to draw another year-long sub just for you 100. And anybody else that wants to put them down as well. But you guys always ask for it. There's only so much I can do. So let's get that going now as well. Let's get to 200 very, very quickly. All right. We're almost halfway done. So I think we've hit all the NBA stuff. So we got a lot of baseball still to get to. So let's jump into that. And I want to get to, because Maddie's here today, I want to get to some hockey. Because, Maddie, in fact, I'm going to do hockey before baseball because I've got a little bone to pick with you. Just a little bone. Not a big bone, just a little bone. All right, so tonight, Montreal and Vegas. The show, we're on Vegas. Minus, let me make sure I get the numbers right. Minus 145. Your nemesis, Jeff Hockman, is on Vegas. However, you, sir, are on Montreal. The Canadiens. Explain yourself.
Well, Saint Jean-Baptiste Day in Quebec, so it's like one of the biggest holidays. How could the Canadiens possibly lose their first ever playoff game on that holiday in Quebec? I don't know what that means. I know it's St. John the Baptist, but whatever. I guess it's a big deal. Just FYI, just crossed that the Knights are going with Robin Lehner over Fleury. He won 2 games ago. I was surprised they went back to Fleury. I need a reason in a playoff game not to pick the home team because I think home ice advantage, while there's, I think, only 4,000 fans allowed, just having the last line change matters. And defensively, they've shut down the Vegas forwards so much, just 4 goals from the forwards. I don't see a reason why I shouldn't pick Montreal, especially when I'm getting money. I'd love to see a game 7, nothing better than a game 7, but I just feel bad for those fans up there. They can't see the game. Their team could go to the Cup for the first time since '93. But again, would a Vegas win shock me? That's why I don't bet every NHL playoff game, because it's just such a crapshoot. Every game ends in 1 goal. But I do like Vegas. Montreal to finish it off at home.
All right. Well, you know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for the fans who don't have the opportunity to challenge you face to face. They don't have the opportunity to say, would you like, sir, to engage in a SportsLine showdown between you and your boy? I'll take Vegas minus 145. You take them plus 100. You win, I pay you $145. I win, you pay me 100. Are you in or are you out?
Well, why wouldn't I just bet at my bookie and get the 130 when that's what it is right now?
Well, I'm giving you 145. I said I was.
Oh, you're giving me 145.
Yeah, I said.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, I got 145 because they're minus 140. I'll even add 10 cents of the juice.
Do you take Bitcoin? Because I only have like about a nickel left.
Right now, Maestro's getting ready to double up because he only needs one more Hawks win to win from Mikey and from Jay Smooth. So right now, he is on the doorstep of cashing in big. But I'm not worried about the Maestro right now. I'm worried about you and me.
Sure.
Are you in? All right, we're in. We're in a second SportsLine showdown.
I love my northern neighbors. I love Canada.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have to watch most of this game now. Normally, I just look at my phone. I got 3 TVs going. Hockey's not one of them, but we love hockey here at the Early Edge. So
I'm from Michigan. You got to love Canada. That's where we go when you're 19.
all right. Well, cool. The hockey playoffs have been a lot of fun, to be honest. But you're right. They've been a crapshoot. High scoring in a lot of the games. The over-unders, the total's been right around 5.5. That's high, but they've been going over it, sailing over it in a lot of games. All right, let's get back to our bread and butter, and that is, of course, baseball. Already 3-0 today. Now, first game, Orioles and Blue Jays tonight. And Maestro, you are on a prop here, and whenever you go under on a strikeout prop, usually means it's a bad pitcher and a bad team, and we have both in Baltimore. Explain yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I believe they've lost, 19 straight road games. But, this pitcher, the numbers aren't good, but he did have a solid outing against the Blue Jays, but they hadn't seen him before. And the lineups came out. It's a favorable lineup. The matchups are favorable in terms of, which side they're hitting from. He's actually worse against same side, same batting from the same side. He's worst against right-handed batters. I believe they have 7 in the lineup tonight. So just some other information. I think they're going to hit him hard. I think he gets 4. I could be wrong, but I like it, and I just think a lot of times you get these pitchers that they haven't seen them and they do well, and then they see them, and the next time a good offense shows up.
Well, the Blue Jays have better than a good offense. They have a really good offense, but they also have a bad pitcher on the mound tonight. And Mikey, this morning, you talked about the different hitting environments and how some of the totals have really risen. And this one in particular is at 11, but both pitchers have an ERA north of 6. How comfortable would you be playing that total of 11?
Not super comfortable there. When it opened at 11.5, I actually wanted to take the under at 11.5. It quickly went back to 10.5. Looks like it's come back up to 11. I think the 11 is the appropriate number on it. It's just a huge number. As far as Anthony Kay, he can be good enough at times. The wind is blowing in 10, 12 miles per hour. It's going to not really offset all of the actual air quality, but it's certainly not going to be helping here this afternoon or this evening. So I would not feel comfortable at all playing over the 11, over 11.5 in this one. So I would lean under.
Maddie, when you have
11.5.
What is that noise in the background?
Just Ron Acuna was just rolled out, so I wanted to get my bet down.
Oh, that's fantastic! What game is that?
Braves Reds. So I'm jumping the Reds right now. Yeah.
You're jumping on the Reds right now. You know what? So we'll make a live bet on the show. You know what? I'll do the same thing, but I'm going to do it on my phone because people love it. We actually do bet on all the. So you like the Reds?
Yeah, I mean, the pitching matchup's kind of garbage either way, but the Braves, like their 7th game in 4 days, so they're going to be worn down. And Acuna's that good, so he's one of a handful of guys who fade their team if they're out. Trout, a couple other guys.
What number did you get it? What number did you get it at?
115, but it's going to jump any second.
Yeah, 126 already.
Yeah,
126. Yeah,
he's worth about 25 to 30 cents in the market.
Well, that's what it jumped last night with the Mets. Yep.
Yes.
It's amazing how fast that happens. And you folks at home, you just seen it right here. He makes a bet at 115. 30 seconds later, I get it at 126. That's how fast the market moves if you don't get on it, which is why we have you covered here at the early edge. Damn, 11 cents. It cost me 11 cents. Matty is all over it. I'm going to have to learn whenever I hear that typing. I need to ask, what play do I need to put in? Now, I want to ask you this, too, because whenever you have a team that's lost 18, 19, 20 games in a row, which is unheard of unless you're the Orioles or the Diamondbacks this year, at minus 160, I almost want to tell the Orioles, prove me wrong and lay the 60 cents. I know at some point they have to win, but sometimes you got to go back to the well until they do. What is your philosophy on that?
Are you asking me or Mikey?
I was asking Matty, but
Matty, go ahead. Okay? Well, I was just going to say that last night I got burned in terms of the Rockies. That was a loss I had yesterday. They had, they were 5-29 on the road. So, streaks do come to an end sometimes. But Matty, go ahead.
I think he put himself on mute while he was making a bet.
Yeah, I was finishing up, so I apologize. As far as streaks, I don't consider streaks, like Mike mentioned in the show Tuesday. It's still a new game, just like a new coin flip every day So I don't take too much into streaks.
Okay, very good. I forget. I gotta understand. I can't be looking somewhere else whenever I ask Matty a question. Short, sweet, to the point. I like it. Your plot, Mikey. I know, Maestro. I've learned from you that sometimes we'll go back 4, 5, 6 times in a row until they prove us wrong, and we've cashed a ton like that in the last 5 or 6 months since we started the show.
Yeah, and there's people have been betting on the Astros every day, and they're doing quite well.
Yeah. I'll add a comment to this.
Go ahead.
I'll add a comment to it. If you want to ride a streak like that on a team like Toronto and basically fade Baltimore, I would be way more comfortable doing it like on the alternate run line. Take the -2, -2.5. Make sure you're getting rewarded with a little plus money when you take that risk. If you really are looking to truly fade them, it's fine to play the -160 if you have a clear edge on it using a process that you use. If the process is literally just to fade them, I don't think it's a good excuse to pay the 60 cents. So that's the case where if you really want to fade them, drop it down to whatever you need to get the plus money and really fade them. So that'd be my advice.
Okay. So I don't know what I need to do because I already played the Blue Jays -160. I should have asked you before I did it so I could have done the alternative run line. You mentioned the Astros, and we were all on play today. And we discussed it earlier this morning, and I think you just brought it up, Mike, and I'd love to hit on it again because with more and more sports books opening up and more exotic lines and giving fans an opportunity to bet different things, Justin gave out Astros -2.5 runs. And as I expected, I got a lot of tweets about it. Coach, we don't have that. I said, I literally said that on the show. And then we asked about the -1.5. Now that you can do the -2.5 and sometimes even 3, which is crazy. How often or what is your philosophy on that? Because that's a lot of runs to give any team, no matter how bad they are.
Yeah, so I'll start with it. If you're looking at simulations or using data kind of like we do, you have a distribution of what the run scoring looks like, and it all is just going to come down to not going over a certain threshold. So we know that this line, when it gets to this point, is inflated on the home team or the public team. I mean, not a home team in this, but the Astros, the line's going to be inflated big time. That inflation is going to carry over to the run line because that's the next most popular bet from the public is going to be, okay, well, I'm not willing to risk -250, -300. Let me take it on the run line. So you're still paying massive inflation there to the tune of maybe -150 on this one, probably still at this point. So what he's doing there is he's dropping that risk and looking for a very similar outcome. So at it depends on what you're getting. If it's -2 or -2.5, like -2 versus -1.5 is essentially the same. That you need the 2, you're going to push it to. So he's going to 2.5. He's going to have to get them to win by 3. He's really just trying to eliminate the juice and not pay any juice at all.
Wow, that's a lot. It's a lot of runs to give anybody. But they won whatever. 12-0 last night, 13-0, something like that.
I think the other note on that is you're only doing that with a road team, right? I personally like an offense like the Astros. It's going to be another high-powered offense, like say Boston or the Braves, in like good run-scoring environments. You'll want to do it with a team like that is a road team, because they're guaranteed to bat in the ninth inning. Where they're massive home favorites, they would never be batting in the ninth inning in this situation. So giving that offense that can put up an extra 2-3 runs, they might already be ahead. If they're ahead, scoring like we think they are, they're exhausting and wearing out that bullpen. So it's just a spot-specific thing, but I would only ever recommend doing it with a team that's on the road.
That's a great point, because it drives me nuts when I give runs, even if it's 1.5 and it's a home team, because I'm taking away 3 potential outs and however many runs that they could score in that last inning. The Astros, by the way, SportsLine, the Sims tonight, 5.3 to 3.0 over the Tigers. So the Sims have it almost exactly what Jay Smooth had it at earlier today as well. So we'll see if those two things match up together.
The Tigers have been good at home lately. No Jose Altuve either. He's not playing, so.
Yep.
Okay. He's definitely a factor. There's no doubt about that. There's another game that a couple of our cappers are on tonight at SportsLine, and that is the Red Sox and the Rays. And they're both on the over 9. Kenny White and Jay Smooth. The total has stayed steady at 9. We always know from Mikey, he's educated us to the point that we know if it goes to 9.5, whoa, stop. That adds a losing element to your play. Let's go, Maestro. Do you like that Red Sox Rays over projected 9.8 at SportsLine?
I would lean that way just because of the trend. Seems like every single game that matchup is going over, plus Red Sox games, the last 13 or 14, I think are averaging about 13 runs per game. But beyond that, I have not dove into that matchup.
Okay. Well, I just like to ask surface. You guys don't have to have your cold stone locks on these games. I'm just asking if you like it. That's all.
No, yeah. That's your prerogative.
Maddie, what do you think about this over? Because I played it before I even looked, because these two teams have just been scoring on each other like crazy. What is your thought process on this over?
Yeah, I told you, I don't make any bets till I see the lineup before, but my worry on totals on Thursdays is it's a getaway game most of the time. So they're resting guys, like say Altuve, George Springer's not playing for Toronto. So, obviously it depends on the pitchers in the park and all that, but just if it's like just a general rule, I tend to think not over, just because a couple guys are going to get the day off. Of course, getaway games are usually during the day, not at night again. But, Tropicana Field, I live from Tampa, so that place is a rocket pad. So probably will go over again. It
really, really, really is. By the way, we're less than 30 likes away. Less than 30 likes away from a second year-long subscription to SportsLine. And then we're also going to give away another year-long sub. Leave your Twitter handle and the word over, under, whatever you think tonight's total is going to be, and that will be a third one. I love Octavio. He's like, come on, there's so many of you in here. Hit the like button, because they know how valuable a subscription to SportsLine is. And for those of you who are brand new, you want to know what you get at SportsLine, you get all these cappers that you're looking at right here, with the exception of this beautiful face. You get the other 3 guys. I'm always here hosting all the shows, though. And then you get the simulations, you get the analysis, you get all the breakdowns, you get everything for one very, very low price. And that's what you get when we give you a year-long sub. That's how important this is. There's nothing like SportsLine in the world. We have it, and we want you to be a part of it and be a part of the family. So hit that like button. We just need less than 30 more. And also, we're going to give away an extra one as well. Leave your Twitter handle and the word over and under.
And Coach, I'll just chime in on that for a second, because there's 20 to 30 experts, but also every sport, horse racing, soccer, golf, tennis, everything, and then also fantasy. The fantasy experts, Mike, heading up the DFS with Jacob, the 2 DFS gurus for the site, but also season-long fantasy that's there. So you really cover everything, for that price.
Boom, just what the Maestro said. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we've got about 15 minutes left in the show. We did have a question over here in the comment section, quickly to go back, and then we have a couple more baseball to talk about. But quickly, the NBA, we haven't talked about the over. Last night, it was a big deal, guys. It opened at 229, went all the way down to 224, and what a shock, hit right at 229, 116, 113. Tonight, it's in that 220 to 221 area. Does anybody like that? I love playing overs, to the point that I play stupid overs sometimes. But this one feels like it could be a good spot for an over, with Chris Paul coming back and that tempo being up. What do we think about that over tonight, guys?
Simulations are going to show the under on it for me. 218.5 is the number. With Booker banged up the way he is, scoring could be limited a bit, but I really think Chris Paul limits the pace more than he increases the pace. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at some ISO ball for Paul George. Should be extended shot clock, and then having Patrick Beverley's increased defensive efficiency out there. It's nerve-wracking because it should be a tight game and could very easily get there when we start getting fouls and other things in there. But 218.5 is my number on it, so definitely going to be an underlean on that one.
Maddie, you're shaking your head over there. You're shaking your head.
Yeah, I followed Mike's advice on game 2. He said tighten up a little bit, and I actually had recommended the over. I'll admit it, but didn't even come that close. So I agree. It's going to keep getting tighter. Paul's a great defender. I get 3-4 steals. Of course, that could lead to easy layups, but I would lean the under on this one too. Even though the consensus seems to be the over on every book.
Maddie, you're not the first one to change their mind after listening to Mikey explain something. Trust me on that. We all do it. All right, so the under seems to be the play. A lot of people in the chat want to go over because that's what fans like to do. But remember, there's a reason you're a fan, and I did it when I was in my 20s. You just want to bet what you want to bet. That's not how you make money and beat the book. You listen to the experts like my guys right here. George says, I love being a member of SportsLine. I was on another site charging $40 a month for 3 sports. $9.99 a month is a bargain. Thank you, George. We appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. All right. There's another late game tonight. We've been talking a lot about the Dodgers lately. Cubs and the Dodgers. Dodgers are big favorites here. Started at 203. They're all the way up to 255 over the Cubs. The total started at 7.5. It's going up to 8.5. I know, Maddie, you had a little something on Buehler tonight, right? What do you have on the Dodgers?
Yeah, he's got 23 straight starts without a loss. That's ties a franchise record. So if he does it again, last regular season loss was September 19th of 2019, I believe. The MLB record's 30 by Roger Clemens, FYI. I like that number's too high just to take the Dodgers on the money line, but I'm a Cubs fan. I'll admit it. You worry a little bit about the Dodgers coming off a heated series with the Padres. They just got swept. Incidentally, their only sweep this year was against the Cubs. But I just don't see the Cubs, other than Rizzo, Baez, Contreras, and Bryant. They're playing 4 scrubs every night, the Wisdoms and the Solgards and the Alcantaras of the world. I mean, throughout Wednesday's game, they played some Indians pitcher named Eli Morgan, who's probably never pitched in the majors again. Before that, they 9 straight games with 3 runs or fewer. Zach Davies has pitched really well, except for his previous 9 before that, an ERA under 2. And like I say, with Buehler on the line, I'm parlaying the under 8.5 and the money line to get about plus 175.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding. There's our sounder again. You have spoken. We have listened. We have hit 200 likes. So we have a winner. Wait for it. Here we go. At Berkey B11. At Berkey B11. Johnny will reach out to you and give you all the details how you can cash in on your year-long sub to SportsLine. And we appreciate you for playing along. Now, we're going to give you one more away in the next 10 minutes. So put your Twitter handle at the bottom, right over and or under, and we'll give away one more year-long sub. Interesting question by Sterling Gentry, because it plays to the explosion of sports betting and all the different crazy bets you can make. And he says I like the Cardinals to get the most hits in the game for plus 230. When you start betting on how many hits, which team is going to get more hits than the other, you're really diving deep into exotics. Do you guys ever look at plays like this? Maestro, I'll start with you're a prop god with us. Do you ever look at stuff like this?
Well, that's one that I have not, gotten involved with. I mainly stick in baseball. I stick to strikeout props, some out props. I like Garcia tonight for the Astros over his outs prop. I think he'll go 6 innings for sure. But those are the main ones that I look at for baseball.
Yeah, that just seems like. I mean, I've done some weird betting in my day, but I don't know if I've ever gotten into that. That would mean I just can't get into that. Have you guys ever gotten in the crazy exotics, like for more than just the Super Bowl or the World Series, but on a day to day? Have you ever done anything like this?
Well, a lot of books will let you create your own, but no, I say like Larry, at least offshore ones I know do, but like Larry, I don't do these. I mean, I like exotic futures. They come with these, where's Ben Simmons going to be traded, stuff like that. In fact, I try to make some of those sometimes. But yeah, as far as first out or first left-handed home run or something, that's not my thing now. Too much research to go into that.
You're like, we only have so much time in the day.
Yeah.
People already think that we work 24/7. All of our better halves think that we work 24/7. That's for damn sure. But this would be next level type of stuff. No doubt about it. All right, one more baseball game. Then we're going to finish up back on the basketball game tonight because that tends to be what everybody's talking about in the chat. I had one other game I want to talk about. Then I lost my train of thought. It actually was the Braves and the Reds, and we got into it because we were placing bets on it. But the total 10.5. The Sims have it at 10.8. The Reds, just like the Twins, have been an over machine this year, and when they're at home, they hit very, very well. We normally don't like to make the same bet on the same game, meaning the over and a side. Do we like the total here in Cincinnati tonight? Matty, you're already on the side. What do you make at 10.5?
Obviously, there's a big bat missing. But the pitchers, I think it's Chavez is going to end up starting for Atlanta as TBA, and Tony Santillan. I don't know a lot about him. Great American Ballpark's obviously a great hitter's park. I haven't looked at the weather.
Excellent.
What is that?
Excellent weather conditions. Excellent
for hitting. Yeah. I would probably lean under just because the Reds have their full bullpen. They were off yesterday, so they can throw their whole 8 guys out there if you need to keep them down. So I'd probably lean the under.
Okay, very good.
And I want to just I see a question in the chat, and that is something very popular. Whether there'll be a run in the first inning or not, I know that is a really incredibly popular prop, and it's not something I'm an expert on, but I am going to get Mad Max to start producing some of those for us.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let's recap quickly before we wrap up the show. We've only got about 9 minutes left in the show. The picks that we gave out here on the show. Johnny, can we bring up the Mad Max and the Thunderdome full screen, please? He gave out today DeAndre Ayton over 15.5, and as many of you said in the chat, it's already up to 16.5. Some places 17.5. He's also on the Suns to sweep. That's playing at plus 250 at your book. And then Zach Davies in the game we just talked about, the Cubs game, over 3.5 strikeouts against the Dodgers late night, plus 120. I believe that's a 10-10 Eastern start for the Cubbies. Quickly, ding, 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 ding. We have another winner. At Why Not Express. That should be like the name of our show. Why Not Express. That's the third and final winner today of a year-long sub. My boy Johnny will reach out to you on social media and give you all the details of how you can cash in. Welcome to the family. All right, guys. There's a different audience between the beginning of the show and the end of the show. They don't all stick around for an hour. We know that. We've talked a lot about the NBA about 40 minutes ago. We're going to finish the show and get right back into it as we are just about 2 hours away from tip tonight. We haven't had any major news. We do know that Chris Paul is back. Kawhi Leonard is not back. It's been hovering around. It started with the Clippers -1. It's moved all the way to the Suns -1, 9 Eastern tonight on ESPN. The total currently is 218.5. The odds for the series: Suns -700, Clippers +500. The Suns are 10-2 straight up. And Matty, you believe it'll be 11-2 after tonight, correct?
I do. I think the Suns win fairly comfortably, actually.
Really?
I think the Clippers kind of do the first half line thing. I don't know what verb I'm supposed to use here while being politically correct. I think they kind of expend all their energies, let's put it that way, in the first half, 3 quarters, and I think they're going to be run out of gas.
Can you be censored on YouTube and social media?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can be censored or not. Give out the stat that you gave earlier in the show that was astounding to me on teams that are down 0-2 returning home and the first half number and what those numbers are.
I don't know the exact, but it was like 70% since 2005. Teams coming down 0-2 at home cover the first half spread.
I think it was like 80-36 and something.
Like
Like that. So it's something that we normally don't recommend if you're just joining the show for the last 10 or 15 minutes. We would never recommend betting the game, one team and the half for the other, but the numbers bear that out tonight that you'd play the Clippers in the first half and the Suns for the game. But Mikey, it would only happen when they're like in this even or plus or minus one scenario, right?
Yeah. It's. I mean, I get it. The Clippers definitely should come out with a little bit of home court energy. Like I totally get it. Just not a play that I'm going to be making. I'm definitely on the Suns.
I can tell when Mikey doesn't like a play. He's like, I'm just.
As we're seeing on the screen right there, John put up. You see Zach is on the Clippers, and also Big Daddy in the chat, also on the Clippers. And I lean towards the Clippers. I mean, it's not a play for me. I just can't wait to watch the game. I just think Marcus Morris not being on the injury report, the defensive adjustments they made. I know Chris Paul's coming back. They were the better team, I believe, in game 2. This is at home. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying it's conscious, that the NBA or the refs are saying, we won a long series. But I am saying subconsciously, Paul George gets the calls tonight. I just think he gets the calls. I think he bounces back. I know he choked or whatever you want to call it. He missed. But we've seen him produce in these playoffs. I don't think he's going down with like a 6 for 20, 21 point performance tonight. I think he gets over 30, but I'm not playing the game, but I'm just leaning the other way is all I'm saying.
And we know that his player prop is over 30.5. So if you like points and you like Paul George, I may sprinkle a little bit on that just because I think he's going to be very, very aggressive tonight, and he shoots great at home. Maestro, I just want to hear you say "Big Daddy" one more time. That was great. That's something I never heard here.
Yeah, Larry, I have a question for you on that though. Like the correlation between the Clippers winning, we'll call it winning, covering the spread at 1 is basically irrelevant here, right? So the correlation between the Clippers winning and Paul George hitting 30.5, I think that has to be incredibly high. If you like the Clippers, I think that the easiest way to get there is Paul George 30.5 points, because he can obviously still lose the game and get that 30.5. But if you think they're going to contend and win, like, do you really see many scenarios that they do so without him getting at least 30?
No, it's a great point.
I personally don't.
I wouldn't take him for first Clippers basket scored. That's for sure. He's going to want to come out and forget those free throws immediately.
What are the odds on that?
I'm sure somewhere. I don't see it on William Hill yet, but I know you can bet first basket, so I would definitely take him on that.
Well, I know that the line. I just happened to see it today that the line for the first points to be either a free throw or a bucket. A free throw is minus 1,200. It's
really
crazy. And then because you'd have to have a foul on a shot right at the beginning of the game for that to win, and that rarely happens.
You mean plus 1,200? Plus 1,200.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, plus 1,200.
Yeah, no, Mikey, I feel better on the George going over than I do on the team winning.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably the play that I would take. If you like the Clippers, obviously play whatever you want if you like them. But I think there's, out of all the times we talk about a player scoring X number of points and the team winning, this might be the highest correlated spot other than a regular season game for the Trailblazers when it's Lillard and nobody else. When McCollum's out, things like that, those two events are highly correlated. This is that situation.
We do have somebody in the chat because I want you all to know that mentioned you guys need to have more WNBA plays. Trust me when I tell you, we have discussions all the time about getting more sports into the show. We're doing a Wimbledon preview tomorrow. Swear to God. We're doing a Wimbledon-only episode tomorrow. We do horse racing, and believe me, we are looking for a capper to do WNBA. But the trouble is finding somebody who caps WNBA. That's the hard part. So I think we found somebody. Maestro is always on that for us. But don't think we're ignoring you or don't think we don't hear you, because we do. We just have to find somebody who really goes neck deep into a sport, because we're not just going to throw out plays just to throw out plays. All right.
Lisa Leslie over 18 points.
What's that?
Lisa Leslie over 18 points.
In 1998.
Oh, she got out. I gotta see that.
All right. It's time for final thoughts on the show. Maddie, anything you want to say? Go ahead as we wrap it up.
Like I say, hit the Reds hard now. It's probably still rising. And like I say, my best play is the Dodgers and the under on baseball.
All
right. Play those. M Square, what do you got?
We didn't hit it on baseball, but we talked about Larry being on the Twins and the prop there. We talked about Zach being on the other side. Absolutely ideal hitting conditions, super low air density index, really warm, a lot of humidity, great conditions to hit. in these situations, when we've had two cappers strongly on each side of the game, the over is an absolute lock, even though there's no such thing as an absolute lock. I'll lean towards the over in that one. Probably play it for about a quarter unit myself.
Okay. Very good. Maestro, as you do for any and every show that you and I are on, you may close the show, sir.
All right, well, Coach, I'm actually super excited about that Wimbledon show that we're going to record in the morning, because these are two cappers that I found that are over the pond, and I've been, across the pond, however you want to say it. They're in Europe, and I've been communicating with them for years. I don't think I've ever heard their voices. I don't think I've ever seen them. So I'm actually super excited to watch them break down Wimbledon, and they have tremendous track records. And in fact, the one thing I loved is at one point we only had one of these guys, and I was like, you got to pick women too. We need women. People are clamoring for women's picks. He's like, I don't know anything. I'm not going to venture. I watch it like you do. I'm not going to venture, but I have this guy who is amazing at women. So we got him for women's tennis. Sean and Gavin are their names. And one of them actually works in the European Parliament. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on the air. I don't know if
fixing scandal.
I don't know if the Parliament knows what he's doing. Anyway, enough said. I've said way too much. So.
I will say this, that I will do my best English accent if they have English accents too, because I'm kind of like an honorary citizen of Europe because I've been there so much. So I'll feel right at home with two guys from England. Are you kidding me? We used to go twice a year, true story, 10 days at a time. So I would go 20 days a year to Europe to wrestle, to do our pro wrestling. Nice. And yeah, it was cool. It was fun. It was fun. I once partied with John Cena until 5 a.m. in the morning. They walked up, told him he was going to do an hour-long Ironman match the next night. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. He sets his beer down on the bar, walks to the elevator, and the next day had a 5-star match after being up all night drinking with me. We end the show on that story. John Cena, I love you. Fast and Furious 9 coming out very, very soon. There's your plug for that. All right, that's going to do it. We're here every single afternoon on the weekdays just for you. By the time we roll around to the fall, we're going to be here every single day. I love my guys, for Matt Severance, for M Squared, for the Maestro, for Johnny, our producer, who puts this amazing show together. I am the coach. Good luck tonight. Follow all of my guys on social media. And don't forget the MMA episode that we just did today with the hottest capper in the world, Ian Parker, PFL, Bellator, UFC, all in one show in your feed live right now. And then the Wimbledon preview tomorrow. Then, of course, our bread and butter, our morning show. We'll be right back with all the picks for the day. We do it, and we do it for you. Remember, this is the only brand daily for your early edge. Good luck. Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.